everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the makeup book tags. So I know that there's several different versions of this floating around on BookTube, but I decided to go with the one I believe that Sarah came up with. I will leave the link to the video down below as well as all of the questions. So basically when I first started this channel, I wanted to be a beauty guru even though I am crap at doing makeup. So that never panned out and I decided to talk about books, and yeah, here we are now, almost a year later. So this is really exciting. I have been wanting to do this for quite a while, but just never had the nerve to, finally pick up the makeup brushes and do this video. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this video. Okay, I have zoomed you in a little bit closer to my face. So I do have a little bit of makeup on currently because I did go out to breakfast earlier. I'm going to take that off. Give me one moment. Okay, so I am all fresh faced, no makeup, maybe just a little bit of waterproof mascara that will never come off unless I'm like dousing my face in like oils. So the first question is going to be with your primer, and I never wear primer, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my moisturizer instead for this question, and that's pick a book that has left a lasting impression. And that of course is going to be Introductions, the Academy series by C.L. Stone. Sorry, this mirror is right here. This is a reverse harem book, the first one I've ever read. I read this back in 2016, picked it up because it was a free book on Kindle, and then I believe that there are now like 13 books in the series now. I'm not quite sure, but it literally led me into a subgenre that I absolutely adore and read all the time. This book is about a girl who ends up moving and her family is kind of just not there. Her mom's very abusive, her dad is absent, and she ends up meeting some people that live on the same street as her, and they are a part of this thing called the Academy. So she's about to start a new school, she's meeting friends, and ultimately this first book called Introductions is where they end up meeting all the new people in the book. So I really enjoyed this series. The only issue is this author just takes forever to write a new book, and I'm eagerly awaiting the new one to come out very, very soon. So I'm not sure like how long I should probably wait for the moisturizer to sink in. Normally I try to wait like 20 or so minutes, but for the sake of this video, that ain't gonna happen. Also to mention, I'm normally like the makeup that you saw at the beginning of this video is about what I do on my day-to-day. So since I am planning on filming a couple more videos coming up, like right after this, I'm gonna do like my filming makeup, which is a lot heavier than I normally would. So the next step in your makeup is going to be your foundation. The question is, pick your favorite first book in a series. So that's gonna be Bully by Penelope Douglas. I freaking love this series. I love that there is going to be a spin-off very soon, but anyways, this is a hate to love kind of new adult, they're in high school in this book, romance, and I freaking love it. Tate and Jared used to be best friends, and then something happened and Jared suddenly hates Tate, is kind of like out to get her. Tate ends up going to study abroad for a year, comes back, and she is gonna have none of it. So she is kind of like just the coolest girl ever. I absolutely love her. I love Jared, and once you understand why he is the way he is, it's very heartbreaking, and I just love this book so much. There is such great music that Penelope Douglas puts playlists along with it, and I found some of my favorite bands through this author. I love reading about all of the cars that are involved, like the Mustangs, all that stuff. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun. So the third step or question is concealer, and that's gonna be pick a character you wish you could get rid of. So honestly, I thought about this and I really couldn't think of a single character that I would really want to get rid of. I figure that, an author writes the book that they are meant to, the way that they want to write it. So why would I get rid of a character that they put in there for a reason? So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an answer for this question. So this part isn't actually on the question list, so I'm just going to do a little bit of contouring now. Okay, so the next step is going to be powder, and the question that goes along with that is pick your favorite last book in a series. So this one is definitely gonna have to go to Brandon Sanderson's The Hero of Ages, which is the final installment in the Mistborn trilogy. I absolutely believe that this book completely wrapped up the series, answered all the questions I wanted to be answered, and just ended on, even though it was a little bit sad, a little bit heartbreaking, I thought it was the absolute perfect ending, and I thought it ended exactly how it should have. So I know that there are some people that don't believe that it is the best ending, but in my personal opinion, it satisfied my taste and what I really thought that it should have ended as, so great job. The next step is going to be eyebrows. So what is a book that you think everyone should read? And I'm gonna go with Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. So this is a series that is super fast, quick, easy to read because each are very, very short. All of them are novellas. Even if you're not a huge fan of fantasy, these aren't like super heavy, complex worlds to get into. These are very reminiscent of like Narnia or Alice in Wonderland, but do have some dark and deeper themes to them. Also, there's always some sort of lesson to kind of be learned as well. I do know some people that think they might be a little bit preachy, but to be quite honest, I absolutely love them. The first one and the second are my absolute favorite. I think the fourth is just as good. The third book is a little bit more lighthearted, but if you haven't picked these up, definitely do. And a lot of times they have them on Book Outlet for like super cheap, so definitely check them out. And I know the newest book is going to be like a continuation on from, I believe, Jack and Jill's story, which is the second one. So I cannot wait to get my hands on it. So moving on into eyeshadows, which I'm using the Naked 3 palette because I've kind of been going for like a pinky eyeshadow look lately. I've been loving that. But it says pick a book that has your favorite colors on the cover. So I didn't really like have like a book that had my favorite colors because, you know, I just didn't really know. But I decided to choose The Poppy War because like this is a fantasy book that has an amazing cover. This is one of the first ones that I've seen that like drew my eye, even though I knew nothing about it, but I was like, I want to read that book. And I did, and I freaking loved it. It's actually a grimdark fantasy, which is kind of like completely different than what you think it would be because that looks, you know, somewhat more lighthearted, but it's very dark. So next I have eyeliner. So I use two different ones, liquid and regular, whenever I film, and usually. So let's see, pick a dark and mysterious book. So this one I actually read quite recently, and that's gonna be The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This is definitely so atmospheric, very dark. This is a kind of like Agatha Christie mystery type book, except for the fact that it has like a little bit of like a sci-fi twist, and the fact that the main character has to repeat the same day over and over again. He has, I believe, 7-8 days to figure out who the murderer of Evelyn Hardcastle is. So I really love this book. It is a little bit more slow going because there are so many little details that you really have to pay attention to, or you're not gonna know what the heck is going on. So I ended up reading this book over summer, and I got 200 pages in and put it down and then picked it up again. And I wish I didn't do that because, like I said, you have so many details to kind of keep track of that I forgot some of them. But the twist at the end was really, really good. I absolutely loved it, and just basically want to read a lot more mysteries and thrillers, which I believe last month was probably the month that I should do it. But as usual, when it's the time to do things, I do it whenever I feel like it. So yeah, if you haven't read that book and you're looking for something that is really good, very atmospheric, definitely pick it up. I loved it and was just like blown away by it. Next up is going to be mascara, and yes, I use two. Don't come at me with that because, I mean, you know, whatever. So the next prompt is going to be pick a long book, and that's going to be The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This is over 1,000 pages. Freaking love this book. I loved Words of Radiance, and I still need to read Oathbringer as well as the novella that goes in between of those two. Freaking love it. Anything Brandon Sanderson writes, I'm ready to read it. I still have a couple more backlist books of his that I want to get to, but yeah, absolutely loved it. Read it if you haven't. If you really like fantasy books and, you know, are thinking about picking up a, you know, a little bit bigger of a challenge, definitely read these because I find them so easy to get into and read, and it's not all that difficult. The size may be quite intimidating, but it's absolutely worth it, and the characters are so fleshed out, just so good. I regret putting on mascara earlier today because it's already all dried out and chunky. So So the next step is blush, and the question for that is pick a book that has some cringe-worthy romance. Now, I didn't really have to think too hard on this because honestly, there was one book that came to mind, and that is Ruin and Rule by Pepper Winters. Unfortunately, hated this book. Normally, I'm not bad with dark romances. It's one of my favorite, genres. I love a good dark romance. I can understand abuse and things like that when it comes from outside sources. If the abuse is coming from the intended person you're having the romantic interest in, that's when I'm like, no thank you. Unless it's, one of those things where it's like consensual, whatever. But the fact that what happened in this book, absolutely just no, ex-nay, did not like it. I am most likely going to be getting rid of it soon. Only 2 more to go, so we have highlighter, and that's gonna be pick a book that brighten your day. So I freaking love this book. It is so sunny, shiny, oh my gosh, amazing, and that's gonna be The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I love this romance book. It is on the opposite spectrum of the other one. Rom-com that's based, hate to love, but it's hate to love based on this like misunderstanding, which some people don't really like too much, but honestly, I freaking loved it. It's about a girl and her twin sister gets married, and something happens at the wedding where like the whole entire wedding party gets sick, except the groom's brother doesn't get sick because he doesn't eat what was on the menu or something like that. Somehow they don't eat the food. The twin sister is like, you need to go on this, amazing vacation to Maui. I won this. For it to not go to waste, they have to pretend to be a married couple. And yeah, it's super cute. Absolutely adored it. Like them together just I love that you get to see like the different outings that they do in Hawaii and then finally coming together. It's just absolutely wonderful. One of my favorite romance books of the year and definitely my favorite Christina Lauren book that I've read to date. So for the very last step, that's lipstick. And since I use 2 of everything, of course I use 2 different lipsticks. But that being said, the question for this one is gonna be your favorite book kiss. And I really thought about this, and like recently I just read this past month, and that's gonna be Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. So this is a like fantasy fanfic inspired type book. It's male romance, and when Baz and Simon finally get together, I was just so happy for them. My heart was full and they were just so cute together, and I absolutely love this. I'm really wanting to pick up Wayward Sons very soon because like I want more from them, and they were just adorable. I loved the ending, and like I said, when they finally got together and when Simon got over all his like weird stuff that he had. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching my video on the makeup book tag video. I don't know what this video is called, but thank you so much for watching and sitting through to the very end. If you've read any of these books or have any thoughts or opinions about them, I would love to chat about it in the comments down below, and I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye!